Well, my goodness, I find this rather interesting. Now, tell me again how it's everybody else that moves the needle. Tell me again how Paige Bueckers moves the needle. Somebody explain that to me exactly. I would love to know.
Yeah, that stat was wild. Final Four viewership dropped a staggering 71% without Caitlin Clark. That's 10 million fewer people tuning in. It's not just a dip, it's a crater. The numbers don't lie. Caitlin wasn't just a star of the tournament, she was the tournament.
And my goodness, the Final Four ratings, it is something else.
Women's basketball just got a wake-up call. With Clark gone, ratings tanked, 71% down. That's not a dip, that's a clef. 10 million viewers vanished. Sports bars, empty. Social feeds, quiet. The buzz that followed every Clark game, nowhere to be found. This isn't about Paige Bueckers not being great. It's about Clark being transformational. She didn't just play, she moved culture. And without her, the energy isn't the same. The question now, can anyone else bring it back?
UConn's Final Four matchup this year dropped by over 10 million viewers from last year's matchup against Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes. Right there. 14.2 million viewers last year to 4.1 million this year.
UConn versus UCLA drew 4.1 million this year. Last year, Clark versus UConn brought in 14.2 million. That's not just a drop, it's a crater. A 71% free fall that got TV execs sweating. Same school, same stage, the only difference, no Caitlin Clark. That kind of viewership gap doesn't lie. It tells the story loud and clear. She was the moment. And without her, the spotlight dims fast.
In case you are not paying attention, that's 10.1 million less viewers compared to last year. 10.1 million?
No Caitlin Clark, no crowd. UConn versus UCLA should have been a blockbuster. But the 71% drop in viewership made it clear. Without Clark, millions just didn't care. This wasn't a minor dip, it was a mass exit. Last year, Clark brought in 14.2 million viewers. This year, just 4.1. The difference? One player. Clark didn't just boost women's basketball, she changed the way people watch it.
It's funny, this is from a thread with, I think it's Serena Williams' husband. She was basically saying, someone said it's literally driven by Caitlin, I bet money on it. And then they talked about potentially making the bet. And I don't think anyone would have thought it would drop this much.
Alexis Ohanian saw it coming. He predicted no one would draw like Caitlin Clark, and he was right. This year's Final Four numbers. Way down. Not just one game. Both semis saw massive drops. It wasn't about teams or rivalries. It was about Clark. Without her, the casual fans just didn't tune in. This wasn't a ratings dip. It was a spotlight outage. Clark wasn't there, and neither were the millions who showed up for her.
There were less people watching than when Caitlin Clark played the year before. So there is a common denominator. And my favorite thing is like, oh, the only reason Caitlin Clark's popular is because of Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark with it versus Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark without Angel Reese. Double the viewers. Literally double. And then ironically, Caitlin Clark's Elite 8 had 10 million, then her Final Four. The next game against Caitlin versus Paige at 14 million. Like, anyone saying it because of Angel Reese is like, it is one of the craziest things.
The numbers don't lie, and they're telling a tough truth. For millions, women's college basketball was Caitlin Clark. Take her out of the picture, and viewership cratered. That's not a knock on the rest of the talent. It's just the reality of what happens when a generational star captures the spotlight. Clark didn't just elevate the game. She was the game for a
time. It's almost underestimating the Caitlin Clark mania. Like, everyone watched that game. Everyone who has ever watched a game of basketball in their life watched that game. It was bigger than the men's final. Everyone who has anything in basketball was watching that game last year. Whereas this year's game was just another game. A good game. Like, UConn were exceptional, but it was just another game.
And the it factor isn't just charisma. It's the ability to move culture. Magic and Bird didn't just play basketball. They turned it into a storyline America couldn't stop watching. Same thing is happening now. Caitlin Clark brought that kind of gravitational pull to the women's game. Though the real question isn't just who's next, Can anyone else create that kind of moment? Because that's what keeps fans locked in long after the final buzzer.
My comment a minute ago, I was addressing this comment right here. So the cult of Caitlyn doesn't actually like women's basketball, color me shocked. Or they love transcendent superstars, of which there are no others. Sorry, that's a fact. For a long time.
Exactly. Caitlin Clark is doing for women's basketball what Magic and Bird did for the NBA. She's drawing in fans who might have never paid attention to the sport before. It's not just about the game. It's about the story she's creating. Fans are captivated by her talent, her personality, and the sheer excitement she brings to every match. When a player can move the needle like that, it's not just a moment.
I mean, most people don't watch sports unless you give them a reason to tune in. Caitlin Clark gives people a reason.
Generational talents like Caitlin Clark have a unique ability to pull in casual fans and make basketball a must-watch event. Just like Magic, Bird, and others, she brings a level of excitement that extends beyond the game itself, creating a lasting impact on the sport's popularity. It's not just about their skills, it's about the way they transform how people connect with the game.
For a long time, it was only Magic and Larry. All right? Then Michael came along.
Caitlin Clark is becoming a transformative figure in women's college basketball, similar to how Michael Jordan did for the NBA. Her unique style, logo range threes, and no-look passes draws in casual viewers. Just like Jordan brought mainstream attention to the NBA, Clark is doing the same for women's basketball, making her games must-watch events and attracting fans who wouldn't typically tune in.
Now keep in mind, there were other real stars of the NBA at that time, but they weren't transcendent in the way that Magic and Larry were.
The comparison between Caitlin Clark and other stars highlights a key truth. While Paige Bueckers is undeniably talented, Caitlin Clark has a unique ability to captivate audiences who might not typically watch women's basketball. This needle-moving star power can't be manufactured. It's an innate quality that draws people in and sparks interest in the sport beyond just basketball.
For a long time, it was only Magic and Larry. All right? Then Michael came along. Now keep in mind, there were other real stars of the NBA at that time, but they weren't transcendent in the way that Magic and Larry were. And those were the two stars that basketball fans tuned in for. And then Jordan came along. What am I going to say? I've said, hybrid love child of Larry Bird and Steph Curry with the branding of Jordan. We are here. Sorry, LeBron, but we are now witness. Not to you. Paige doesn't have that aura in the end that Clark has. Not even close.
The uncomfortable truth is that casual fans are crucial for the growth of any sport. As one sports media expert put it, without them, a sport is doomed to stagnate. Hardcore fans will always be there, but they alone can't fuel widespread growth. Caitlin Clark's impact is vital because she's attracting the exact type of new viewers women's basketball needs. Critics might claim her popularity is driven by favoritism or demographics, but the numbers tell a different story. Her extraordinary shooting range, court vision, and highlight-worthy passes create moments that go beyond just basketball, drawing in a broader audience.
Everyone can't be Caitlin Clark generational, but Paige is, quote, a good player. Of course, there's the needle moving right there.
This phenomenon helps explain why viewership drops when a star like Caitlin Clark isn't playing. It's a pattern we've seen before with Michael Jordan, and now it's happening again. Most people need a compelling reason to watch, and Clark provides that reason. The significant viewership decline without her highlights the undeniable influence of a once-in-a-generation talent to draw in viewers who otherwise wouldn't engage with the sport.
And then, I stand by this, LSU Iowa Part 2 is the most important women's basketball game ever because everyone showed up. Everyone that was meant to show up showed up. There were more people watching that game than watching the first one. More people watched the rematch. And the rematch was mental. The stuff, like, Caitlin Clark did some things to Hailey Van Lith that may have broken the violated the Geneva Convention.
The 71% drop without Caitlin Clark only tells part of the story. Before her, women's basketball was fighting for mainstream attention, television slots, and social media visibility. Casual fans couldn't name more than a couple players, if any at all. What's striking is that, even with this drop, women's basketball is still in a much stronger position than it was before Clark. The standards for success have shifted, and what was once considered good viewership now seems like a baseline. Clark's influence has permanently raised the bar for the sport.